Ladies and gentlemen, I am Hypo, and we are looking a bit more in depth at the Dragon Knight. Now, in other MMOs, your Dragon Knight would be considered a warrior, a barbarian style class. Go out there, get into the middle of the fight, bit of survivability, and just cut enemies up with melee weapons. But that is slightly changed in ESO, as a future video will prove that you can mix things up a bit as well. So don't rely entirely. Don't think that because you're a Dragon Knight you can't do ranged damage, because you certainly can. The class skills you're given are Ardent Flame, Draconic Power, and Earthen Heart. Ardent Flame is all about your DPS, dealing damage with fire, dealing damage in AoE, and damage over time. It uses, as with all classes on all class abilities use Magicka, or weapon class abilities use Stamina. So, taking into account when, spending your attribute points in Magicka, health and stamina, you've got to take that into account. So Ardent Flame, like I said, all about AoE damage, dots, setting people on fire, and just dealing out the hurt and dealing out the pain. Draconic Power is your self-heals, with a little bit of damage dealing as well, and blocking. Quite useful to pick up if you are a damage dealer. You grab up a few of these skills as well. If you're a tank, grab up some of these skills as well. Earthen Heart. We have in the Earthen Heart, this is all about buffing your group, protecting yourself. Very, very little offensive, quite a lot of defensive. It's your tanking tree mainly, and it's about defending yourself while helping others and just keeping the aggro, that kind of thing, and not dying. All about survivability. Your weapon skills will also dictate what you do in the group. One hand and shield is your tanking, so you're tanking with this skill set, whereas if you're dealing damage you'll want two-handed or dual wield or even bow. But once again, not to say you can't tank with two-handed. You can do it. Might not be effective, but I've not played around with the Dragon Knight that much, and it's something that's going to be more enjoyable if you go out and try it. So you have, with your Dragon Knight being your typical melee character, and you've chosen what you want to do with your character, whether you want to tank or do damage. You then got to choose your race. Now, certain races have different abilities to do it. So your Dark Elves tend to do some decent damage with Ardent Flame, because Dark Elves have an ability somewhere called, there we go, Flame Talent. Increases spell power with fire effects. Well, Ardent Flame is all about the fire damage. So having that racial means your fire damage is going to be increased. Other races worth taking note as good Dragon Knights are Nords. Make very good Dragon Knights. Some of their racial abilities there are pretty good. You've got let's have a look. Actually, let's see what we've got here. We've got Robust, so health regeneration goes up. Cold resistance is increased, and more armor. So a bit of a tilt towards the tanky side of things for the Dragon Knight, but still a valid choice as a damage dealer. We've also then got Orcs. Orcs can perfectly viable Dragon Knights. They have a little bit, of sort of an odd set, because they have increased sprint speed and a reduction in stamina cost, for the sprinting. So you can run about a bit, move around into the fight. Robust health regeneration, very similar again. Brawny, max health, max stamina increase. These abilities, or your racials, are your kind of a bit of less tanky, more get into the fight, start hacking up a bit more, a bit survival. So I wouldn't say the orcs are as good as Nord, but choice is yours, and it's more fun playing a class that you prefer the sound of. Now, Red Guard are fairly good at your Dragon Knight abilities. They have increased abilities regarding the stamina tree. So if you intend to go out as a Dragon Knight and concentrate mainly on weapons, like two-handed, dual wield, that kind of stuff, you would then choose Red Guard, because stamina's their main priority, about having higher stamina, recovering stamina, that kind of thing. So you can basically attack more often with your weapon skills and, faster. We also have, believe it or not, Khajiit. I do recommend. Whereas not the best tanks, as damage dealers, they're not that bad. You can get like critical rating with melee attacks, which is what the Dragon Knights are all about. So increased critical is good. They have stealthy, which obviously for a Dragon Knight isn't that great. Robust, which is health regeneration in combat. So you may think, well, that's a bit weird. Why would I choose a Khajiit? You just got to play off their bonuses and, use their racial bonuses to your benefit rather than choosing something a bit random. So use it to your benefit. There's no reason that you couldn't play as an Ultima, who are your major players for increased magic regeneration, that kind of thing, and then just going full Ardent Flame and just casting these type of abilities over and over again. It would work, which just proves the point that you can do a little bit bizarre builds out there. Armor, light, medium, heavy. Heavy's all about the tanking. Medium's all about swinging your weapon. Light's all about using your magicka, which is in your class abilities. So there we have it. Dragon Knight is your typical warrior, and for getting into the middle of the fight and cutting stuff up and doing damage. It's definitely one if you've played warriors in previous games and you're looking for a warrior in this game. This is probably your best bet and best to stick to this, but mix it up a little bit and go from there. So feel free to check out my other videos. I will be doing videos for the Templar, the Sorcerer and the Nightblade, and I will be doing a final video which is kind of like a hybrid and explaining what you can do and mixing things up, so using Dragon Knights as ranged, using Sorcerers as tanks, that kind of thing. So check that out, and until next time, hopefully you'll see you on ESO in the future, and grab a Dragon Knight, have some fun, cut stuff up and set things on fire. So until next time, cheerio.